Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this started because we actually, this is, like I said, I was going to go over some Forex trading and how to trade with our robots. And, you know, this isn't like all the other platforms that we've been in where we, you know, it's easy. You know, you just go in, there's an entry price or point that you come in at for your investment, you know, whether it's $20, $100, whatever that is, and then it will make up to a certain percentage every day, and it's set it and forget it. Okay. What we're going into, it's not for everyone to go into, but just for those that wanted to know how to make more than, you know, the 2% daily that you make in QubitTech, or how to make more than the 4% in the Burex every day on the, you know, commodity swap, just how we can go about, you know, kind of taking control of our earnings ourselves, right? All of the platforms that we've been working on are what you call managed platforms. And with that being said, you know, managed platforms, you guys, are those that, you know, like I said, it's kind of like having a broker and they manage it for you. So on those, you don't have to lose. You will not lose any money in those, okay? For the most part, I mean, unless the platform just decides, well, one day it's just not going to happen. But the things that the Wolfpack, or, you know, that we are bringing to you guys, we never bring stuff that we are unsure of. We, you know, we like to test and try it out first. And QubitTech, which is where we're getting our robots, it's one of those because it has, you know, this ecosystem of a whole bunch of products that aren't going away, one of being the robot. Okay, so we're going to learn how to take advantage of that here. And basically, before we go any further, I always tell you guys the disclaimer, right? The use of the information given today about the products and services, the robots, QubitTech, all that, it's got to be based on your own due diligence, especially when it comes to Forex trading, you guys, or, you know, just trading, day trading, okay? The company is not liable for the success or failure of your own businesses, whether it's directly or indirectly related to the purchase and or use of the information or services that we go over today. I always say this: invest wisely, you guys. Trading is risky, okay? And we're not just talking about trading crypto here. We're also talking about trading currency, different currencies in different countries. So do not invest any more than you're willing to lose. And there's a golden rule with that we'll go over. All right. The first thing we want to do actually is go over your robot selection. I am going to, because I knew that this would be like a smaller group of us, so I can kind of talk to you guys individually here. But I just kind of want to go out and ask, has anyone here so far purchased a robot? Like, do you know where to go to purchase the robot?
I know where to go, but I have not purchased one.
Okay. Okay. So what I would like to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where to go first off to do this. 2 robots. Okay. There's a trend robot and a flat robot. And I'm going to go over that real quick first, because that's one of the things that you'll have to choose when you, you know, purchase your robot. All right. So let me go ahead and go there. Let's see. I've got so many windows open. Yeah, that looks scary. Don't look at that just yet. All right, can you guys see my screen? Yes? No? Hopefully. I'll need some feedback on this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So when you go into your QubitTech account, right, you're going to come in. It's going to bring you to your main panel right here. Now your main panel, this right here, when you come in here, you know, it's going to have your digital license, your corporate license, your list of your digital license right here. But what you're going to do is you're going to go to menu, you go to robots, and when you come to robots, it's going to give you a couple of choices. Okay. Now there is a new one that's out that actually does both. No one's used it yet. I think they're still trying to do some things with that. And that's actually going to be the next one that I purchase as well. But for now, these are our two choices. Okay. We have the flat robot, and this is something that you guys want to go and do when you get off this call, is if you haven't done so already, when you go to that robot section, go ahead and just click on the description. Okay. The reason why it's important for you to click on the description is because it's going to tell you exactly what these robots do. All right. And I'm going to break down some of the stuff so that we understand it. But before we do that, I do want to say, you know, one of the things we're going to learn with this is we are going to be learning how to trade ourselves here, because we can't just get the robot. You can't just buy a robot and throw it on a platform. Okay. And then just cross your fingers. That's called gambling, and you will lose money that way. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to first learn how to trade. So that's going to be our basis. But what I'm going to do is just show everyone why we're learning what we're learning. I'm going to start from the beginning. And it's important that we do that. If I'm moving too slow for some of you guys, please let me know, because I can speed it up, but I just don't want to lose anyone by thinking that they understand some of the terms and everything, you know, all the definitions that come along with trading. Okay. So right away, our flat robot. I did not choose the flat robot. I chose the trend robot. But the flat robot, this one right here, actually, it focuses on entering the market, right? Entering your order is what it's called. And it does it based on this RSI. It's called the relative strength index. Okay. And your relative strength index is basically, and I will go over this, but it's an average. It's a formula that you will never have to know. You don't have to do any math, because the tools in the platform that I'm going to show you, it does it for you. But this formula basically just gives you an average number of the days or that are up, an average number of the days that are down. So this is really based on price and time, and whether the price is up or down. So basically your flat robot is going to go into the market and say, you know, for the past 10 days, it has been, the high has been $10. Let's just say that, for example, right? And then for the past 10 days, the average low has been $6. Okay. So your robot is you are going to be able to tell your robot based on that, right? This is what it's going to trade on. It's going to give you a choice between the 6 and the 8, right? It's going to say, and I'm making it simple, but it's going to say, hey, where do you want me to enter between here? It's like our handicap, right? And then you're going to put in where you feel most comfortable in doing so. All right. So that's what our flat robot is doing. It's really based on price. It's going to go over some extra strategies too that we'll go over. But for the most part, this is what this particular robot does. Okay. This robot is $390, or they give you a robot free when you get a $1,000 license. Okay. Do I have any questions on my flat robot before I move over to my trend? Okay, so your trend robot, okay, again, go in here yourself. Please look at these descriptions. But the trend robot is going to basically be making its trades based on what they call this moving average indicator. Okay, and the moving average indicator basically, just like the robot, the name like sounds, it's going to be based on both the what we just talked about, that the flat robot is going to be price and then time, and it's going to go in like your most popular direction. So it's going to be kind of going with what they call, and once again, like I said, this is what we're going to have to learn how to do, but bands, and you know how when you look and you see like the slopes, look like the ski slopes. So this robot is designed to notice when there's a trend going up, and it's going to put you in a position to be able to ride that trend. And then it's going to exit when it feels that it's going to be at the, before it goes to the peak and it drops you off. That's what this robot does. This is the robot that I'm getting, because I just think, based on the research that I've done on trading, this would be more easier for me to understand what it's doing. Both of these robots, by the way, if you see the time frame down here, this isn't like a set it, forget it. I mean, it is a set it, forget it, but it's only a set it, forget it for 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hours, or 1 day. Just like, when we get our up to 2% from QubitTech, we don't, I mean, some of us don't even go in and check our accounts. We just buy the license and let it do what it do. And we just use it as a glorified savings account to get 250%. But with these robots, we can actually make a lot more, but we do have to go in and we do have to tell our robot what to do day in and out, or hour in and hour out, if you want to trade. Okay. Now, one other thing I want to show you guys. If you don't have a Bitfinex or Binance account, one of these two, you want to get one. Is there anybody on the line that actually has one?
Yes, I actually signed up for both of them. I had some issue with the one for Binance. I think it's the one I did. And they do have a US version, and they have a, I guess, rest of the world version. I had some difficulties with the Euro version of it because it couldn't verify their identity, but there is a US option.
Yes. And just so you guys know, if you haven't done so yet, and that's why this is just the start, and I just want everyone to, kind of, there's a lot of things that has to be done before you just go, start going to trade. But one of the platforms you have to have, because this is what you're going to link your robot to, is Binance or Bitfinex. I have both. Okay. But I thought that this one here, the Bitfinex, was so much easier to create, because it only needed a email address. It didn't have all the verification that the Binance one, I had Binance US is the one that I used. And then I was also a little worried about using the Binance US version, right? And setting my VPN, because in order to be able to link both of these accounts together, you have to have your QubitTech account open, and to be able to have this open, you have to have your VPNs on. So I didn't want to go through all the hassle to like figure all that out, even though I have a or Binance account. I'm going to use that solely for just trading without my bot to start with. But I did go ahead and link my robot to this one here, the Bitfinex. This was easiest. So if I were to recommend anything, I would recommend this one here. And it's simple as that. Once you get your robot, you hit start robot, it'll bring you through these settings. It's going to ask for your API key, which in Bitfinex or Binance, you actually create that, and it'll walk you through, like their steps. It'll walk you through and say create API. And when it does, it's going to give you your API key and then your secret key. And it's best to just go ahead and, control copy and copy those on over here. And then save your key information. Then you're going to scroll down here, and it's going to ask you for your strategy. And as you can see here, when you hit your strategy, it does tell you what these risks, the description of each risk. Okay. We will learn about all of these and the definitions, but again, it just on here, your stop loss for your lower risk is going to basically be a lower number, which means it's going to stop and have you not lose a lot. Like, you know, the amount that you're losing is minimal, is at 4% here of your total investment. Okay. And we'll learn about stop losses, but this is one of the things everyone's been asking me about these robots. And I'm like, okay, I'll show you guys, I'll give it to you, but it's going to be one of those things that's going to require for you guys to do, you know, a lot of research too on your own with that. I mean, I can break these down every week. But you know, when you feel comfortable, that's when you go ahead and make a move. And I suggest, and I'll show you guys later, to set up what they call a demo account, so that you know, you're going to be trading and not, you know, basically trading with real money. You want to take it seriously, but you're not going to be trading with real money. And that way you can kind of learn a lot of the, you know, the way the stop losses work and all of the indicators and the tools that they give us on these platforms that we're going to be using. Okay. Do I have any questions on at least just that part? I feel all of it really is almost self-explanatory once you log into QubitTech. So let's see, I'm going to go back to, all right. So that was the difference, you guys, right there between our trend and our flat. Okay. Again, I'm using the trend. I don't know. Which one did you get, Marcus? Are you using flat or trend?
Yeah, I did trend also.
Okay. Okay.
I did trend.
Good, good. To me, that was just the easiest. I mean, flat is it sounds easy, because you're just working with, you know, one of the indicators. But for me, I'm a picture person. So when I'm looking at these graphs, which you guys will learn how to read too, I'm a visual person, and those peaks and the lows and using those intersections just work best for me. So but I'm
I
going to
think
end
that
up.
makes sense. Yeah, I think there's also a hybrid that I saw somewhere on their website. That's of course twice the price, but I guess it's sort of the best of both worlds.
Yep.
But I know it is a little more expensive.
Yeah, I wanted to, and I want to get that one as well, but I wanted to do like the trend and then the flat and then use them together. Because trading with these robots is brand new for me, like too. And so I like to just kind of dumb it down a little bit. And plus, I think the new one, I didn't think they were allowing for us to purchase that just yet.
Yeah, maybe not. That's why I think I maybe stumbled on it, but I didn't actually see it as an option to even buy. So maybe it was sort of like it's coming or it's in the works. But yeah, I think you're right. I think just learn and sort of keep it simple, and just kind of go from there. And then I think once that's available, it may or may not make sense. But I think we can really get some good results and just education for ourselves as we just pick one of those and just stay in your lane, right?
Yeah.
Don't go overboard with it, but until we can kind of figure out exactly what's the best way to proceed with it. But it does seem pretty self-explanatory, just like set it and forget it.
Yeah, it is.
For that period of time.
Yeah, for that period of time. And, you know, I was telling David earlier this morning, or whenever, I think we talked, it was today, David, but you know, I'm very busy, and I don't have a lot of time to just sit and stare at some of this stuff. So I'm going to be, you know, as far as, you know, I follow my money, but I am going to set aside at least, you know, an hour or two in the day to do some, they call it scalping, to do some trades and, you know, scalp some money off the top of each and everybody's deal while I learn how to do this, because there's some good money to be made, you guys, in this. Like there are, you know, in Forex, there's trillions traded every day. It's like the largest trading platform ever, like just everyone. And it's really simple. I'll show you a video before we end here where there's like she has to be like, what, 15 or something, 15-year-old girl, like setting up demo accounts and doing all this stuff as well. So if she can do it, we can do it too. So, but I will advise you guys, like I said, just to at least play around with the demo account until we learn, you know, the difference, at least basic for this week. If we can just go through and all of us look up the relative strength index and how to view that on the chart. Like we need to know where it is. And usually to find this, you guys, I don't know if I have it up over here, but there's a button and it says, depending on which platform you have, it'll say indicators. And RSI, this one right here is really a very, very popular one. Like everyone uses it like all the time. So you'll see this on here all the time. And you can use more than one indicator. That's why it looks so busy if you ever see the charts, because this is not just a, you know, one-time thing, like one type of thing. They're using several of these indicators. But for right now, I want us to focus on relative strength index. And then I also want us to get to know these moving average indicators. Specifically, this MA4, the MA9, MA20, and then this robot also uses the relative strength index. And just to kind of show you guys, because I am terrible explaining some of this stuff, I was just going to.
Hey, Cassandra, before you open it up, it's Thomas. It's Thomas here. Hey, so before, I just wanted to kind of go back a little bit when you were talking about the different bots that you can buy in the platforms in which you can purchase them on. So the reason that some platforms require so much information is that, for instance, if there is a company that's either established in the United States or have a branch office within the United States, then they are required to actually register per trading transaction.
Okay.
Then they get a tax. That company profit is actually taxed based off of each individual trade that they execute on their particular customer. So typically those companies are required to have a Social Security or ITIN number on file. And if they don't have it, then IRS will file those companies per transaction that was made. Now, this is to that particular company. So that's why if you're registering under their US entity or branch, then you have to fill in all that particular information. Whereas if you're registering under a non-US entity, they don't access many verification questions.
That's awesome. And I felt that because I'm telling you, like was it Binance.us, the US version? They asked for my account information. I had to send in like an account statement. I mean, I gave them my whole life when I did that verification. That was definitely more than KYC. I don't know what that was. Like I was waiting for them to ask for my blood type. And but when I went through the Bitfinex, I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but it literally just on a basic level, you know, for where we are right now, it just, I get all of the perks and tools and everything just with my email address. Granted, I mean, I do, like I said, I use a VPN. I'm using that. I mean, I just thought that was kind of awesome. So I'm not telling anyone which one to choose because again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying, you know, have you used Bitfinex at all, Thomas?
I haven't, but I'm within the finance industry. So the whole reason it's so simple with that is because they don't have a entity technically registered within the United States or set up in the US. So that's why, or their transactions aren't being processed within the US. So that's why they can actually go around that particular regulation. For instance, I think one of the big may move to a little bit talking about a lot of people already know about Coinbase. For instance, Coinbase is one of the most heavily fined companies that deals in crypto because of their relaxed registration policies. They do require a minimum of, they require a certain level of registration, but not to where, for instance, the IRS wants it to be at. So they're constantly finding their transaction. But when they do their cost benefit analysis, they decided that it's more beneficial for them not to answer or ask certain questions.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't realize that. I mean, they're coming up with all kind of reports too, and just, you know, and they're basing it on like the daily trade for
Mhm.
us traders. And the government wants our address and our names on certain, you know,
Right.
transactions. I think it was like even $3,000, anything over $3,000, they wanted,
3,000, right?
yeah, a name and an address for. I think they tabled that for now. That's something that Biden was, um, they were supposed to be looking at, but he like froze it for now. So that was also
Right.
part of the reason why this is my assumption, okay, but I think that this is part of the reason too why Bitcoin took a little dump here, just recently. You know, it went from 40 to 30 in no time, and I think that was one of the reasons why. So, but yeah, so well, thank you for that, Thomas. Thank you. And yes, if any of you guys have information and you know, please share, because you know, we're all a group. I don't want everyone going, you told me to do this. I am learning just like you guys. So with that said, I did want to look at some stuff. I know we talked about the flat robot, and I know we don't have a lot of time, so I want to at least get through some of these basics, but I want us to just take a look at the oh, what do you call it? This relative strength index and what that means. Okay, so let's go here and look at this real quick.
In this video, we're going to take a look at the RSI, the Relative Strength Index oscillator, and how we can use it in a couple of ways to generate trading signals. Hello, I'm David Jones. Welcome back to this latest video in my series with Trading 212, looking at technical analysis and charting. Last time around, we introduced the idea of oscillators, typically shown at the bottom of the chart, and give us overbought and oversold signals. Today, we're going to look at something in a bit more depth. We're going to look at the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. It's been around since the late 70s, so it's probably one of the more established oscillators. It's pretty simple, and I'm all in favor of keeping stuff simple, but there are a couple of ways we can use this to generate potential trading signals. So first of all, before we look at how it works in the real world, let's just go through the formula, how this thing is actually calculated. So for those of you who are fans of the maths, here's the calculation for the RSI. So the RSI is 100 minus 100 over 1 minus RS. So what is RS in this equation? Let me explain, because this is really at the core of the RSI. So RS is the average of X number of days up divided by the average of X number of days down. So to put that into plain language, let's say we're using a 10-day RSI. So it looks at, over the last 10 days, how many days did the market finish up? And it adds the total points gained on those up days and divides it by 10. So we have an average of the points gained when the market went up. And of course, the inverse applies down here. If out of the last 10 days, the market went down for 4 of them, the number of points lost in those 4 days are added up and divided by 10, and we end up with an average. Okay, and once this gets plotted on the chart, we always have a value between 0 and 100%. So there's the formula for the RSI. You don't need to remember it. There's not going to be a test at the end. Most software will just produce this and put this on the chart automatically. But let's have a look, first of all, how it works in the real world. On a real market, looking at just the overbought, oversold signals and how good or how bad they might have been. So let's start with a nice clean chart. We've got pound US dollar zero spread, daily candlestick. Each candlestick represents a day's worth of trading, nothing else on the chart. Let's add our RSI. So we access the RSI from...
Real quick, to just pause it. The candlesticks, you guys, are these, they look like candlesticks. You see the green and the red. I know it might be basic, but I just want to bring that out for those that you that don't know what that is, he's referring to those. These are candlesticks. Okay.
From the indicators tab up here, we can click down. We can choose oscillators and scroll down and pick relative strength index, but it's also in the most popular because it is one of the most popular. Click on relative strength index. Here we go. So it defaults to the textbook version, 14-day RSI. Me, I like a 10-day RSI because it's 2 weeks. So we can change the overbought, oversold areas. For now, let's stick with the textbook, 70 and 30%. Click on confirm, and the RSI gets plotted on our chart. Let's just stretch that up. So traditionally, with the RSI, we always have a value between 0 and 100%. Anything above 70%, so above this line here, the market is said to be overbought. Anything below 30%, so down here, the market is said to be oversold. So when the RSI stretches into overbought, like just up here, pound US dollar, back at the end of November was the last overbought signal, it's a suggestion that maybe the strength has gone a little bit too far. And if we jump back to some of the oversold signals, probably the best, the truest one we had was down here. It's suggesting that maybe the market has gone down too far and is due a bounce back. It's not.
Real quick, guys, too, on that flat robot that we talked about earlier, right? Remember that one's just trading on the RSI, this right here, this indicator. So this is what it's doing. I forget what the numbers were, but please log into the accounts and just, again, click on the description. It'll tell you. But as you can see over on the right here, where he was talking about, you know, it basically right here at the 70, what was it, like 70% he was showing here, and then he went down to the 30%. Well, our robots, they have a specific number or range that they stay within. And I think it was like either 30 to 50 or something like that. So this right here is what, if you're using that flat robot, this, you really want to pay attention to this indicator right here. This is what he's explaining. So this right here is that number that you're looking to. This is where your robot's going to be entering and exiting right here based on that.
Perfect, like all these indicators. None of them are perfect, but it gives us a way of taking the temperature of the market. Now, if I change this to an hourly chart, my RSI is still there, of course, but now, rather than looking at the last 10 days, it's looking at the last 10 hours of price. So we have a much choppier RSI. Okay, so obviously if you change the period of the chart, you're going to get different signals because you're looking at different price data. Let's go back to a daily chart for now. So at the moment, at the time of recording this, the RSI was pretty much in the middle, trading around the 55% mark. Okay, but it's at the extremes if we're using overbought, oversold, where people will be looking for the RSI to try and confirm maybe what their reading of the chart or the news or the fundamentals is telling them. So looking to sell when the market or when the RSI approaches overbought, and then looking to buy when it approaches or dips into oversold is one strategy. But because markets do move around, obviously, you do get quite a few overbought, oversold signals, and they're maybe not as reliable as another way of using the RSI, and that's looking at the idea of divergence. Don't forget, the RSI is just a calculation based on what the market's been doing. It's not some magic formula. So it's based on what's going on in the market. Broadly speaking, it will follow the market. But when it doesn't follow the market, that's when we can get different signals. And this is divergence. So let's take a look at that again in the real world. I think this idea of divergence is a powerful one. Clearly, as markets move around, we are going to get overbought, oversold signals. It's the nature of market volatility. But these divergence signals are a lot less common, so arguably a bit more reliable. The best example I can see here, they don't happen that often, like I say, but let's go back in time to June. So you can see this is pound US dollar again. The market slips lower, rallies, but slips lower again. Okay, so we've got lower lows. But look at what the RSI is doing. Hits a low, market bounces back, drags the RSI up, hits a low again, but we've got higher lows. So this is a suggestion, true as it turned out, that maybe this weakness is running out of steam. So this is known as bullish divergence. Let me see if I can find an example of bearish divergence. So I flipped this chart to dollar yen now. So dollar yen, zero spread, again a daily chart, again 10-day RSI. So we have the usual overbought, oversold.
Again, I know this is maybe a lot for some, and that's why I wanted to just break it down a little bit. But one of the things to just pay attention, all these platforms are going to be different. I'm using MetaTrader 4, which I will show you guys here in a second. But for the most part, you know, you get to set these indicators, and I only want to start off using the ones that our robots are using. You know, just until we can actually get some more of our, I call it our vocab, right? Our definitions, and kind of knowing what each indicator is. Because if you notice, they go up here, and when he clicks on the indicator, he can pick, you know, this one, he can pick, you know, a moving average. They have different techniques he can use. He can put in, you know, his Fibonacci sequence or whatever. They got all these different tools and stuff that you guys will learn about. And the more you do it, the more you, when he was moving his little, you know, like the intersection right here, when he gets to a certain part, like let's say he wants to look at this candlestick here, which I don't know because it's not real time for me, but you know, as we go, I just don't want everybody to be afraid of looking at this. You will understand. But for now, I just wanted to show you guys this so that you could see what that RSI and what that means for our flat robots. Okay, so I'll give everybody a copy of the YouTube or whatever here. You can go and find them pretty much anywhere. And you can finish that on your own.
Want to wrap important. So
Like go too much further.
rated.
But basically, like I was telling you guys, I like pictures. And it's easier for me to be able to follow those trends. So when I see the, you know, the smoothing out of the lines and the averages, and the fact that with our robot can only do, like I said, 2, 4, what was it, 2 hours, 4 hours, 10, 12, 1 day, something like that. So it's going to be a lot easier for us, you know, starting off with. But eventually, obviously, I would like to hold my position for a little longer. But for the sake of this, we're only doing this, again, with our robots for 2, 4, 10, 12, or a day. Okay. Let me see here. The only other thing, guys, that I wanted to, because I know our time is low, this is going to, like I said, it's going to take some practice. Okay. With practice, that's why I would actually, you guys, recommend before we get off here, I do want to just take time to say, do your homework. Like I said, this isn't something that's easy that everybody can, you know, this is not easy. This is not just a buy your, I mean, it is easy, but it does take some work. It takes some practice and getting used to, guys, and learning. So while you're out there learning for this week, just one rule that they say is the golden rule, and this is what I'm going to stick to. But as I'm learning, I'm not going to bet more than 2%, okay, in one single deal, or 5% it says in my total assets. Total assets for this purpose is just going to be whatever we put into the account. So, you know, if I put $1,000 in there, you know, for one deal, right, I'm not going to spend more than 2% of that. Just starting off. And actually, I'm not even going to do that, right? The reason I'm not going to do that is because I'm going to get a demo account. And in my demo account, I'm going to practice with that and get really good with that this week before I enter my robot. So, I mean, if some of you guys already know what you're doing and you want to throw them in there, give them a name and throw them in there. But I don't suggest that if you are looking at this like for the very first time. I have been reading a few books. Like I'm one of those, like, you know, whatever for dummies they have, I'm reading it and breaking it down. And at any time, if you guys do have questions on this, feel free to call me because every question on this actually helps me to be able to learn it as well. I need for everyone to go over the stop losses and I need for them to know at least these 4, your equity chart, volatility, and time stop. So we want to know what a pip is and we want to know what these stops are because there's not enough time for me to go over that. And then last but not least, set up the demo account, you guys, before you completely register your bot, before you throw them on the open market. Go ahead and do this right here. I'm not going to go through this video because, time is short here. We'll need to get off. But please, if you guys can take note of this YouTube page, it's actually pretty awesome. Here's the free, this is a demo. This is a free demo. In that video that I'm going to post here in the chat, she actually goes over, I like this one, the KOT Forex. But in the video, she's going to walk through how to set this up. This is the trade. You can like play around. I think it's like initial deposit $10. That's all they want, is just $10. But you are setting this up so that it'll end up having you download MetaTrader 4 right here. I did mine for Windows and I also did it on my phone. And then when you download this, it'll take you into set up your MetaTrade account. And then in this video that I showed you with this little girl on here, she shows you how to do this, set up the MetaTrader, download that, and then she links these two so that you can then go in and start trading. Let me put this here. There's that one. Let's see. But this one right here that I just posted, if you see that one, that's the how to set up a demo. So do we have any questions with that? I know I'm telling you guys, when you do, you're gonna like drown in it. It's kind of fun. You probably don't want to be doing a lot. Yes. Whose screen is this? This is Brute. I don't even know who this is. Brute's 1, 2, 3. Is this a demo or is this? No, you're in Trading View.
This is, yeah, this is a live account.
Yep, that's live.
I have made a Twitter 4. I have Trading View. I opened my demo account and Osprey. So I am trading live already. So
How are you doing?
I'm sorry?
I said, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Have you lost any? Have you won any?
Oh yes, I lost a lot and I win a lot too.
Yeah, that was one of the things.
Trading is not about losses and winning. It's about how you can maximize your winning and minimize your losses.
Right.
So if you win, if you lost $200 and you win $400, that means you make $200.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. So another thing too, if you're not doing it, do you keep a journal of your trades?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good thing too. You guys want to know, because sometimes you have some successes and you want to be able to document those so that you can go back. A lot of this is going to be based on, past trends, past performance. You'll learn a lot from the past with this, and the past normally, history usually repeats itself. Would you say that, Gilbert? Yeah. So one other question, are you trading, are you doing it hourly? Are you just doing a day? I see you have the hour.
Right now, when you see this channel that I put there, to see how Bitcoin is going. And I set up my alarm when it get off the channel so I can enter for a sell or a buy, depending on where the trade is going.
Nice. And so I'm looking on here, and just to try and explain to everyone else, how many indicators are you using on here? I see.
Right here, I am using 4 indicators. I'm using MPFA 10, which are the red and blue, red and white, and the 4 to 1 is the yellow, the 1 to 4 is the blue, and the 50 is the red.
Red. So you're using 4 right now. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
Yes.
Yep. Well, technically 5.
Yes, and you see the.
Yep, I was gonna say technically you're using 5. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. This one is the oscillator, accelerator. This is showing me when the market is going up and when it's going down.
Yep.
So my red is my sell and my white is my buy.
Nice. And as you can see, it's the platform that you're using, TradingView. That was the one that actually they said was really good because you can well, I wasn't going to go over that with everybody today for some of the ones that just started.
Yes, with TradingView, you can mark up your chart and you can trade with MetaTrader 4, which I have.
Nice. But yeah, guys. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. So let me ask you something. Gilbert, do you have, which trading robot do you have? Have you purchased one yet to try it?
I'm sorry?
Have you purchased your robot yet to try your robot?
Not yet. Not yet. I am planning to have it next week.
Okay. And I just want to I want to actually applaud you. This is what what I'm trying to tell everyone to do first. Don't just grab your robot, you guys, and throw your robot out there. You have to, your robot is going to listen to you. It's going to do what you tell it to do. You have to know you have to know what to do. You have to tell your robot what to do. So in order to do that, you have to know how to trade yourself. So that's why, I suggest getting some demo accounts. Or you can jump in there like, you didn't do a demo account, did you, Gilbert? You just jumped right in.
I used to, but for now, I don't use it at all because I am pretty good at trading live. So.
Against the Lakers here at Little Caesars Arena.
Awesome. So there you go. There's some other stuff we want to talk about. I'm not gonna go over that because I don't, like I said, I'm trying to keep it simple for folks that were calling and just going, hey, are we going to use the robots? Are we going to use the robots? So did anyone else have any questions or anything about just what we can do this week? I think with this, I think that maybe we should pick another day for us who are using the robots to go over this stuff. Actually, I'd kind of prefer Thursdays, but if we can just take, a little bit of time, after maybe a regular meeting for everyone else who can't maybe understand this or doesn't want to, and just kind of go over, tips or techniques that anyone's using that's working for them for the week. And then what I'll do is I just want to do like a building block thing where, every week we come and I just kind of add just a little bit more. It might be something you didn't know or you did. And then, like I said, if you know something, you can add to it as well. So with that said, guys, all right, it's 10:05. I like to keep it short, or at least within an hour. So any individual questions, please feel free to call me or ask me. I'll be on the road. I'm going to Maryland tonight. Yes, tonight. I'm getting up at 3 a.m. so that I can listen to the Daisy update or Endotech update. And I'll be driving and I'll be back in Kentucky Saturday night or Sunday. I'm literally just going. I had a nephew, so gotta go see him. But anyway, if there's anything else, guys, that's it for today. We just want to start there and make sure we do that. And let's see if we can yield more than the 2% that QubitTech gives every day. I applaud them. So, all right. Well, thank you guys, and we will keep in touch. Call me individually if you need. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Cassandra.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.